We keep it simple with precision. Welcome to another YouTube video. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down a quick move I caught on XAUUSD, which is gold. I got into the trade on Friday or Thursday, and I got out last night. So let's go to the chart so I can explain why I got in, how I got in, and why I also closed the trade. In addition to that, this is actually a trade idea I shared on our last Sunday market preps with Eva. I shared the potential trade idea last Sunday because today is Tuesday. So last Sunday I shared the trade idea. And I got in on Friday. I got out yesterday, right? So I hope you guys are taking advantage of the live sessions. You can go rewatch on our YouTube channel, Chart Nation FX, and gain some knowledge to see how I catch these moves. Okay, so let's go to the charts, of course. So I'm going to be doing this breakdown on my iPad. It's just going to be really quick, straight to the point. Okay, so this right here is XAUUSD. Okay, XAUUSD, which is gold versus the get out this. So this is gold versus the US dollar. Okay, and the broker right now is ACAP, and this is the daily time frame, of course. Okay, so at the time I shared this trade idea, I was basically expecting price to come down to this level right here, right, and continue going up. So at the time, all of this price action had not played out, basically. So I was expecting price to come down here to have an upward momentum, or for price to do a simple break and retest to come lower. Oh, that thing is even inverse. For price to come down here to do a simple break and retest to continue to the upside, right? So those were my two zones that I was watching. And you might be wondering like why I was expecting price to come down here. So the two main reasons: number one is we are in an uptrend. As you can see, if I go down to the weekly time frame, you would see that gold has been going up, right? Gold has been going up. We should just be looking for opportunities to get into a buy, basically. Like, it's that simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Yeah, so gold has been going up. We should just look for an opportunity to get into a buy, right? So that's the weekly time frame. If you go down to the daily time frame, basically the same thing. We are in a clean uptrend. Gold has been, going to the upside. So when you see an uptrend, the next question on your mind is, where can price potentially come down to, okay, to retest at before it continues going up again, right? So that's where the idea of impulse retracement impulse comes into play. So if we're in an uptrend, the impulse is going to be going to the upside. Okay, let's delete that. Impulse, retracement, impulse, retracement, impulse. I don't use my iPad that often okay. Yeah. So impulse retracement when we are in an uptrend, right? So as a trader, your expectation should be when you see a nice impulse, you should wait for a retracement, look for that retracement to start dying down for you to get into the next impulse. Okay, straight to the point. Like, it's that simple, honestly. Okay, so now the next question on your mind should now be, okay, so if we're waiting for a retracement, where are we supposed to wait for the retracement at? Okay, so that's where zones come into play: support and resistance, supply and demand. That's where they come into play after you have identified the direction of the markets. Okay, so that's where support and resistance, supply and demand comes into play. And then when you identify those zones, you then wait for price to come to you, wait for a confirmation, and then you join into the trend. Okay, so that's basically the idea over here. We had a nice impulse on gold, expecting a potential retracement for the next impulse, right? Okay, the chart is getting messy now. Delete that. So after I'd identified, okay, we're in an uptrend, the next question is, where can price potentially come down to for me to join into the trend? So that's where I have my previous area of resistance, which could potentially turn into support where I could buy from, which is this very first zone right here. And the second option would be this demand zone. Okay, I will post a detailed breakdown to explain supply and demand, but a demand, the way I think of it, there are multiple like definitions, or there's a specific definition, but the way I think of it is an area in the market where price basically accumulates for a little period of time before a huge move happens. Okay, it's like an area of rest before a huge move happens. So we see here we have a huge move, area of rest or area of chilling, and then another huge move. Okay, so I had my area of interest run out here for the daily supply, daily demand zone. This would be a daily demand zone because we're on daily time frame, and that's where we see this. Okay, so let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. So on the 4-hour time frame, we also see that it sort of makes sense because this is an area where price basically accumulated, right, before it continued to the upside. So I was basically expecting for price to come down here, have some form of reaction, and continue to the upside. So after we have established the direction of the market and our zones, the next question is, how do we know it's time to enter the trade, right? How do we know it's time to enter the trade? When price actually comes to your area of interest, you should then be watching the candles to see the type of candles that print. I have a detailed breakdown to explain candlestick analysis on the Chart Nation FX YouTube page, so go check those out, or go check that out. But for this right here, I was basically watching, because when price came into my area of interest, that was on Wednesday. I then began to watch the candles that was printing, and then on Thursday, at the close of this engulfing 4-hour engulfing candle, that's my favorite candlestick confirmation to get into trades. At the close of this engulfing candle, I was basically ready to execute. Execute the trade, right? And what does engulfing mean? Engulfing basically means that bullish engulfing candles basically mean that buyers have come into the market to take the market long, to make the market start buying, basically. But you always have to have an area of interest first before you start looking for candlestick patterns. Okay. Yes. So after this candle got printed, this was on Thursday, May 1st. I was on Thursday at 2. That's when the candle opened. So it probably closed at the end of the market day. Yeah. So basically at the end of Thursday is when I got into this trade idea. This was my confirmation, right? And I was basically watching. So while I was watching this, I was expecting for price to have this push to the upside, have a mini retracement, and then continue going long, right? Because as you can see, price does not look like it wants to slow down anytime soon. So basically, that's what I was expecting. Yeah, so I got into the trade over the weekend. I was in a little bit of drawdown, right? But then between Sunday and last night, price basically skyrocketed to the upside. So it's really that simple. Yeah, it's really that simple and straight to the point. And again, looking at it from the higher time frames down to lower time frames, you can see that the trade idea actually makes sense, right? Price is going up, so it's going to continue going up until it proves otherwise, right? Straight to the point. So I got into the trade. I got into the trade at the close of this candle, anticipated for my exit to be up here, just because we have a previous area of resistance, which price could potentially reject, right? But I decided to get out just because I did not want to hold the trade. Personally, I did not want to hold the trade. I already got into some good profits. I was comfortable with my profits, so I took the money off the table and I closed my trade. Okay, so I hope this explanation was, straight to the point and easy to understand. I'll be posting more chart breakdowns. I actually have a trade that's in progress right now on Euro GBP, right? So I'll be posting more breakdowns as the week or as the month goes along. Have a wonderful trading month.